Okay, let me see the volume of it. Okay. Shit. Come on. All right. Let me check everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so hello everyone and welcome back to the Ninbits podcast. This time number 4. I can finally start numbering them because we're actually continuing it.
Yay.
So, I'm John S. I'm your host, and with me, Ericyo.
Hello.
And today's topic is going to be releases that never came to the States, as in the United States. I mean, I know some other people get their own games,
Right.
and so yeah, but we're talking about us in specifically. But first, we're going into the news, and we're going to start with something a little bit weird. It's just like that Minecraft. Everyone knows Minecraft at this point. It's on everything, but it just recently released on Wii U, and it actually released in Japan as well. And then it turns out that it actually beat Splatoon.
Yeah, I heard about that, and I thought that was pretty crazy, given that Minecraft. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. Is Minecraft a company that was the company? Is it in Japan or is it in the U.S.?
If I'm correct, the company is a Swedish studio.
Oh, is it okay?
Well, it used to be, I think it's Mojang, but it got bought by Microsoft.
Yeah, but I mean, nevertheless, for Minecraft to beat Splatoon, I mean, that's just crazy to me when I heard that. So obviously, it's doing great, and people love their Minecraft. Just like you said, it's funny how this game is available like literally almost on everything right now, and it still does so well, given that pretty much it's on mobile devices, on PC obviously, and now obviously Xbox, and now we got it on this as well. So that's insane that it beats Splatoon out of the water with that too.
Well, the strange thing is that I didn't even know that Minecraft had a scene on in Japan.
No, neither did I. I really didn't. You don't hear much about it in Japan, but you mostly hear about it here in North America. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Splatoon even has just recently got like concerts and
Right.
stuff like that with virtual, like basically Vocaloids, but just the Squid Sisters.
Exactly. So I mean, I mean, a lot of people are really loving that story mode that they included in the Minecraft recently. So that could have a little bit of an impact to it as well. But I mean, again, it's Minecraft. I personally have not been able to get into it. I've tried it before, so obviously there's no reason for me to even buy it on the Wii U. But yeah, that's pretty crazy that it's doing better than Splatoon in Japan.
It's just a very strange thing.
Right.
But, other than that, I suppose it's cool. It just sells more.
Yeah, exactly. It just brings more different games to the Wii. So I'm glad that it's doing good.
So, yeah, in other news, which I say are far more important news than Minecraft, is Bayonetta and Corinth are out now. Well, at least at the time of this recording.
Right. So have you downloaded Bayonetta? I'm sure you did by now, right?
Oh, yeah, I downloaded both of them because by buying the game, I told myself if there's ever DLC, I'm going to download all of it. Well, characters, not those dumb Mii fighter costumes.
Right. I agree. Yeah. So here's something funny about you that I noticed on your Facebook the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I saw how you went on a big old rant about about how they had that package where you can buy all of the characters.
That's just my thing, man. Shh. So like, it just basically I thought, wait, so they're going to sell the full package, but they're literally not losing a single penny doing this. They're
Oh my
selling it at
God.
the exact price.
I thought it was hilarious because I mean the only reason I say that is because I thought you're absolutely right. I mean usually when you sell a bundle or when you sell a product with a bundle or something like that, you usually put a smaller price tag on it so it could entice your customer to actually buy it. But there is nothing different from buying the character separately that wouldn't equal out the exact same price. Now, the only thing that I noticed is that it is cheaper in the sense that you actually get all of these characters as well for the 3DS. So if you have both the 3DS and the Wii U, you want to go ahead and download it, well, all of them for all the systems, and it's a good buy because it comes with it, right? But
Well,
doesn't it?
well, yes, it comes with literally every character list.
Right.
But this is the price for all the characters on both versions
Oh,
separately.
oh my gosh.
So yeah,
I thought it was so funny when I saw you write that up because you're right. You're absolutely right. They should have
Now,
if I would have gotten at least a $5 discount, I would have been happy. You know?
like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind so much about this, but they have other packages and they actually sell them for lower price.
Right.
Like the collection, like there's different collections. They have the me fighters that come with that package. Some of the fighters that come with that package. So you can actually get everything. Well, that's the thing though. It comes with the me fighters that are actually forcing you to buy those. So mm, it's they're kind of a slippery slope on
Yeah.
that.
Right. But so since you downloaded Bayonetta, what do you think so far? Lover, hater?
Well, she's a bit strange to control. As in, when you do her combos, like she gets different combos. Like you tilt barely to the left or right, and you attack, and you do a different combo that sends the opponent flying. You do normally, you start doing normal combos, and you release a flurry of hits, and you hold the button, you start shooting. Like
Oh, so it
what?
ties in another combo to it, so to speak, or for extra damage.
Well, kind of, but it doesn't make the opponent flinch, so you start shooting bullets.
Oh, so it's kind of like Fox McCloud's laser. How it's just it doesn't make the opponent flinch; it just causes
Well,
damage.
this is a normal move, as in this is a normal smash attack. Basically,
Oh,
you attack and you
oh,
press the button and it
right.
shoots bullets. So you can do this literally anywhere you are.
Oh,
Let's say you jump, you just press the button, you slowly start shooting bullets,
yeah.
and
Excuse me.
and yeah, she's a weird character. Like she has a double jump, but you can use an extra jump. Like you use your up B, you jump, and then you use up B again. I think everyone saw it in the Smash Direct.
Right. Yeah, I
But
remember that.
yeah, but if you don't do that, your recovery sucks.
Ooh.
It is awful if you don't do that. I say
Ooh.
if you go too far off trying to do that combo that you see on the direct, you're gonna end up, you know, self-destructing.
Ooh. Okay.
So you have to be very careful. And
Right.
because there's this move, the side B, which you do in the air, you hit the enemy, but like you hit again, you hit him, you can do it again. But if you don't hit it and you go off stage, there's a big chance you're not coming back.
Oh, okay. That sounds. Yeah. Okay. So it's almost a double-edged sword with that.
That being said, if you get someone off stage and they're trying to recover, you can easily, like, it's actually funny how easy it can be to just spike them with her smash attacks.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't been able to down. As I told you earlier, I've been. I went at work to work today, and then from there I went straight to school. So I haven't even had the chance or opportunity to even try to download any of these characters. What about Corin?
Corin, actually, I think he's the better of the pair.
Really?
Yeah. So, you saw that attack, the spear that tosses onto the ground. It's actually really cool. You can actually use it to recover. Like, you can actually spike it into the wall. If you actually manage to aim it correctly, you spike and like you get stuck in the wall, so you can use that to jump back on the stage.
Oh, okay. So, okay, cool. So it works as an extra leg up, so to speak, to try to get back on. Okay.
Yeah, such as this guy's really strong. At least from what I'd seen, I haven't played with him hidden part too much. And there's also that counter, which really does a lot of damage. There's that up B, which like uses the dragon wings and sends you flying upwards. It actually kills really easy.
Wow.
Then there's the it's down B, it's side B. Then there's that attack that sends a projectile, but you're too close to claw onto the opponent, and you. So if the attack hits the opponent, it makes them paralyzed, and then the mouth closes on the opponent and sends them flying. So it does a lot of damage. So I can say for sure that Corin, though most of her attacks, only his side smash does like has a lot of range. So her other, I'm just gonna call it her because that's what the character I chose. So her other moves don't have a lot of range.
So with Corin, that's the one thing that I remember seeing from the Smash trailers. Is the reach. Corin has a long reach on attacks. Is that correct?
The side smash.
The side smash does.
Yeah. So yeah, it's longer than Chalk. So.
Wow.
But I can see that character being really high up there.
Sure.
At least from what I'm saying, I'm probably gonna be proven wrong at some point. So. I'm guessing that Bayonetta is just a hard character to master. So.
I'm sure it is. Yeah, it's not something because I'm hearing a lot of positive stuff about Bayonetta. It's just because I was all over Facebook and I did notice that a lot of people are supporting how Bayonetta moves and works in the game. It's just one of those new characters, that has a whole different personification altogether.
Yes.
Just like Ryu. Ryu is
Yes.
way different than everybody else. So is Bayonetta, and I love it. I love how they're incorporating all these out of the box characters into the game.
Yeah. So we'll see how that character does later on.
Right,
I honestly can't wait to see her on tournaments.
right.
So the following news, like Twilight Princess HD, we received some information already. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have been keeping up, but and I haven't really been updating it because I feel that most people already know by this point, and it's just like very minor details. But it seems that they're really doing a lot to change things in the game.
Yeah, you're right. There's a few changes here and there. I'm sure you have a few things in. I'll mention anything else that you don't mention there. But what have you heard so far?
So I know they're doing a few changes in the gameplay. It's like you know those okay, so you know those treasure chests, like you opened it and you end up having too many rupees, so you can't grab the giant rupee,
Yes.
and then they just close it down. Then you like wait like days later, you go back to whatever place because you're exploring, find the chest. Oh man, what's inside? Oh wait, it's that rupee you didn't get last time.
Right. Yes.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
So the chest stays open now. I heard on that one, right?
yes,
Okay.
and other changes, the recent changes, the opponent controls differently, and the swimming controls were updated, but
Okay.
there haven't been any details, so it just were is what we got from interviews.
Right. And then I don't know if we mentioned this before, but the other changes that we've noticed, or that I've noticed, I should say, is that you can now hold more rupees, so you can hold more. Um, Also, if we didn't talk this over, we have the amiibo compatibility as well. I think we went briefly touched on that, but
Yeah.
Zelda, Sheik, they all replenish your rupees. Oh, excuse me, not your rupees, your hearts. And if you touch a two Link or a Link amiibo, it restores your arrows.
Yes.
And then finally, Ganondorf, I think, puts you into a mode where you take more damage.
Yeah. Yeah. We did talk about that actually.
We did or didn't?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, we did. Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember if we did or didn't on that. And then obviously the Wolf Link amiibo, just to go ahead and touch on that real quick, opens up that other dungeon.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, exactly. But what was I gonna say? I had something else to mention about. Yeah, so I mean, I'm excited for the game. We already talked about that too. That I already have it pre-ordered, so I'm excited to go ahead and get that in March.
Yeah. So I figured, while they didn't change the graphics that much, I'm guessing they're really doing a lot for the gameplay itself. So that's a nice thing to have.
Right. So obviously, with that being said, though, do you think this is going to go ahead and take that? There's no. I don't think it's going to have any motion controls. First of all, I think if the only thing we get from motion control is going to be using the Wii U pad to aim at things, like with the bow and arrow. But aside from that, I think it's going to have the same control style as the GameCube version did. Do you agree on that?
Yes and no. I'm thinking it could have both.
You think it's going to have both too, where you can go off to either the Wii U gamepad or the Wii remote?
Yeah, because I mean the Wii U is compatible with the Wii U.
Absolutely.
With the Wii remote and the nunchuck, so I figured they could implement that. They're probably gonna implement both versions. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But we'll see, because was that a launch title for the Wii U? No, it wasn't.
It was.
It was.
It
Okay.
was. It was at the end of the life cycle of the GameCube. But then it actually was delayed, so the Wii version could come out first.
Oh, that's right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
hmm So, in the next bit of news, it's not a lot. It's not big news, but well, some people would disagree. But Mew is now available for distribution in GameStop.
That's pretty
But
cool.
yeah,
Oh, here's the but.
yeah, of course, it's via GameStop. Well, it's not a so you can't download it. At
Oh,
least not. At
is
least
it
not.
is it with one of those distribution codes?
Yes, you had to go to GameStop and ask for a code.
Okay. That
Actually, yeah, I actually was hoping it was mystery gift, so I didn't have to go to GameStop. Hey, can I have a Mew? So yeah, go get that Mew if you
yeah.
actually feel like walking and or driving there just for that Mew.
Yeah, I don't mind picking it up, so I might just go ahead and grab one with the distribution codes.
Okay, sounds good. So on the next bit of news, it's actually something that's not unexpected. Resident Evil 4 is available on the eShop, but it's the Wii edition, obviously.
Right.
So have you played this game, Eric?
I have actually. I didn't beat it, but I did get pretty far in it, and that's one of the best Resident Evil 4 games that I played. Personally speaking, of course. So yeah, I love that game, and I might download it again just so I can go ahead and finish it off. I don't remember if I did beat it or not, though. To be quite honest with you, it was a fun game. It was a really fun game.
So yeah, Capcom's continuing that string of re-releases. I mean, we got the GameCube version, we got the PS2 version, we got the PS3 HD edition, the Wii version, Xbox 360. Now we get the update on Wii U, and of course, I'm sure it's going to be released on the other consoles
Oh,
too.
I'm sure. Well, it came back home to its rightful owners because it did start off with us with the Wii. So, or the what was it on the Wii or the GameCube?
The GameCube.
Yeah, it was on the GameCube. I
And yet to
remember.
play that version.
Yeah, I did. I played because when I tried it or how I played it is I got a demo. I don't remember if I got it in Nintendo Power or how I came across it, but I got a demo disc and that's I played it a lot on the demo disc.
Oh, okay. I need to get that version. I'm really curious to see how that one plays.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I think you'll like it.
Sweet. I'll put it in the dock. So it's this is quite a few point of news. So just when was this? But I think it was there was an investors meeting, I believe, 2 days ago
Hmm.
from this today's podcast. So there were a few things to talk about. The most important is, of course, Club Nintendo replacement, My Nintendo. It's going to kick off next month in 39 countries.
Hmm.
And apparently they want to get 100 million registrants.
Hmm.
So and they're gonna have different. It's gonna be a bit weird, it appears. So you're gonna get different sort of prices. Platinum points can be used for original goods, kind of like the remember that stretchy hand that Nintendo used to have.
I freaking hated that thing, but yes.
And gold points, which can be exchanged for coupons. I figure that's for discounts on games and things like that. So,
Hmm.
what do you think of this?
Well, I mean, has it been confirmed that it's actually going to be digital inventory? I mean, are they going to go back to the physical items that we used to get, or
Well, I
or
don't
a little bit
know.
of mix of both? Because the
Well,
only
it says. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, because the only thing I remember it saying is it's going to be good for how did they word it? They worded it a little like original goods is what they said, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. Goods can be considered either digital format or physical format as well. So we might be able to see a few physical items as well.
Well, I like to think it's physical since the goal point sounds like it's going to take place of the
Right.
digital bit. So goal points are going to be used for games and discounts and stuff like that.
You're
And
right.
yeah, so I think the only weird thing about this news is the 100 million registrants. I mean, do you think they're going to be able to get that many people to register?
Well, did they give a list of the 39 countries that they're thinking of releasing it in next month?
There was no list as far as I could tell.
So it's going to be based on that. So let's say if they go ahead and release it, obviously in North America, in the U.S., just the big countries, Mexico, Canada, Brazil, and then
Hmm.
if we move over to the other ones like anything in Europe, really, in Japan, which I think it's already out in Japan if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's out of Japan.
So it's already over there. So with that being said, if they release it in 39 major countries, yes, I absolutely think that's a very, very possible and very attainable number.
Well, I mean, yes, but that would require you. You know what? Actually, there's some bit of news that I forgot to put in the docket.
What's
Here's
that?
the thing: Mitomo is going to be releasing that same month.
Uh huh.
So I'm guessing you're gonna have to register for Club Nintendo in order to be able to play this game,
There you go.
this
That's
app.
it right there. You're absolutely right. So that's what they're going to go ahead and do. They're going to go ahead and release the game. It's kind of like those other games that you download for mobile games where you have to register an account to go ahead in order to be able to even play it. So I think they're going to go ahead and do something like that. And that's how they're going to go ahead and get all the subscribers.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, huh? Well, go figure. Well, let's hope it's actually good and we get some good stuff.
Absolutely. So what did they say? You said Mitomo, right?
Mitomo, yes.
Okay. So they talked a little bit about Mitono. Did they say much anything else on Mitono? Mitomo?
All I do remember seeing them talk about is that it's going to be released in next month, so this March.
Oh wow! So that's very soon already.
Yeah,
Awesome. All right, good to hear. So, what do you think they're going to do good with this, or
I'm not sure. I'm hoping they do. I figure. I mean, with the help of DNA, I'm sure they're gonna be able to do something. I mean, other things that this Club Nintendo, this my Nintendo thing is gonna have is things like a cloud storage and stuff like that.
Right.
So I figure they have something good planned. I mean, let's have some hope on Nintendo.
Yeah, I have hope in them. And I'm really hoping that they do really good because I'm actually looking over some of these reviews from the investor meeting right now, and I mean it's planned to be initially released with 8 languages in 16 different countries. Obviously, U.S. being one of them, Japan being another one. The common places like that. Um, and along with that, it does require a global pre-registration. So pre-registration starts February 7th. Wow, that's right around the corner.
Oh, so
Uh,
this Sunday.
yeah, Nintendo account
Oh,
rich. So it's right around the corner,
oh,
and
so today.
is this no February 17th? Excuse me.
Oh, okay.
I'm
So
sorry. So
okay,
Feb.
so like,
So right around the corner, February 17th, pre-registration starts then. This also is registration it's pre-registration for Nintendo account.
mhm.
Bonus platinum points will be offered for pre-registration of the app, and it will be able to be pre-registered in all 16 countries. So that's pretty interesting. If you wouldn't have told me about this right now, I probably wouldn't have read this right now. But that's pretty cool. Yeah, and it will be released on iOS and Android as well. So
Hmm.
obviously that was definitely going to happen. Otherwise, they'd be screwed. But cool.
Okay, so that's a good incentive to try it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Some free points for everybody too. Obviously, it doesn't say the price of the game. I'm sure it's going to be free to
It's
play
going
though.
to be free.
Yeah, agreed. Cool.
Sweet. So next bit of news, it's about that detective picture game. It's not really much, but it's rumor. This is mostly a rumor, so
Okay.
to be episodic, as the game was only like 5 hours long.
Hmm.
Though that, to be fair, the game was $15. Well, the average amount of $15 at least here in the states.
Uh huh.
I mean, I'm guessing people were spoiling stuff of the game. I guess stuff actually happens in that game.
Really?
Yeah. So if it is episodic, that's going to be interesting. I don't think Pokemon has ever done something like this, and
Hmm.
with a story-based game, I'm actually more curious about this game the more I hear about it.
Well, now that you said that, it's actually got spoilers in it. So yeah, it's got something a little bit to give out there. So that's pretty interesting.
So yeah, I mean, I hope it comes out here soon. I really want to know what's that all about.
I'm sure we'll see a lot of playthrough videos too, but obviously with that being said, it's all going to be in Japanese, right? So
Yeah.
we'll have to wait.
Yep. So now we're going to move to a new section of the show, which I like to call distant rumors. Basically, we're getting so many rumors like nowadays that I might as well put it all on their own section.
Yeah,
I
that's actually a good idea.
actually think the Detective Pikachu bit I should have been put here, but whatever. We're starting off. It's a new bit. I'm sure we can get this going. So Splatoon content is going to be more common, at least according to an interview. Apparently, they want to have more, but nothing has been set in stone.
Right. Okay. So what about the rumor? Did they say maps or just general rumor saying that it's going to be just some form of paid content?
Not paid content. I mean, that's mostly a guess
Okay.
because they said that what we got was the last bit of free updates. So uh, I guess in the next logical step would be paid content. I mean, the game is now complete at this point. That's a
Right.
lot of content in Splatoon.
Right. That's true.
So at this point, I'm just wondering what is going to be in this game.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, how much? Unless it's going to be more maps, I don't know. That's pretty crazy.
I figure. I mean, those guys are very creative. I'm sure they'll come up with something.
Oh, I'm sure they will. They always will.
So yeah, another rumor actually is about Mother 3.
Oh, I heard about this one.
Yeah, it might be coming. Again, this was brought up by that same person who brought the rumor about Smash
Yep.
for NX.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can't really just show much of this bit, probably screenshots or something along those lines,
Right.
since this person is actually doesn't allow anyone to view her tweets.
Right.
Only your friends with her, but A lot of people saw it, so we got this. So, have you played Mother 3, Eric?
No, I haven't. I haven't. How about yourself?
I played the fans translation and I love that game. I think I love it more than Earthbound.
Really?
Well,
Okay.
actually, to be fair, I didn't even really like Earthbound. So.
Oh, so of course you're gonna like it more than Earthbound. But uh,
Yeah,
but no, I have not played it. I know there's the fan translation out there, but no, I have not tried it out at all. So if it comes to the states, obviously, then yeah, at that point I might as well just get the intended version, right? The one that was intended to be made for the U.S. or for North
yeah.
America.
Well, it's an interesting topic to talk about.
Mhm.
Well, you see, Mother 3 has a lot of things that could be considered not right for the states.
Such
Like,
as.
well, for one of the biggest ones that comes to mind is uh, there's these characters called Magypsies. They're basically male-looking characters who dress in drag.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, Nintendo's good at changing stuff like that up though. So they can go ahead and filter that with something else, or they could just remove that altogether and replace it with something else.
Well, they're very important characters.
Hmm.
Yeah, all of them are very important characters. I'll say that much.
Hmm.
And the story, though, to be fair, I hope they don't change this, but the story is very dark.
I kind of like the dark stories like that though. So
So
yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
the story basically talks about how technology is, at least from what I remember, it's been a few years, but from what I remember, how technology is like making us all dumb, making
Yeah.
like slowly changing our world.
Right.
Since well, I'm not gonna go into many details, but I'm just going to say that it really does. It gets dark.
Hmm.
Oh man, oh man, I really can't wait to see what if that game releases. I really want to play it on a Wii U.
The way it was intended. Yeah. So that would be pretty cool. I would obviously, I would definitely get that if it came out.
Yes, please Nintendo.
Do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so yeah, because it's going to be the 10th anniversary apparently.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, please person, don't be wrong this time. So in today's releases, there's actually just we actually have games that are going to be released this week.
Yeah, the pretty good chunk of him too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, New and Tasty Oddworld 8's Odyssey. It's that this is the remake of a PS1 title. Have you heard about it?
I actually remember playing it on the PS1 when I was younger. Yes.
Yeah, so this is the remake with actually new levels. I think the whole game was remade from scratch.
Ooh.
So its levels are completely new. It looks significantly better. This is, I guess, this is not a remake. It's more of a reimagining,
Mm-hmm.
and it's out on Wii U this Thursday.
Thursday. Okay,
Yes,
cool. What's the price on that?
it is $15.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay, cool. Especially for a nostalgia game, because I do remember playing that at my cousin's house when I was, God, how old was I when that came out? Like 10, 11, 12, somewhere in the neighborhood. I was young. Whatever.
So yeah, I personally never played this game, but I might pick it up.
It's a strange game. It really
Hmm.
is.
Hopefully, it's not a difficult game. I already have a lot of games on my backlog.
Still have him, huh?
Yep. And another game, which is the strangest of this too, obviously. Well, obviously because the game's worth only 50 cents,
Right.
which is the strangest thing. I don't think I've seen a game so cheap on the eShop yet. I mean, they are usually a dollar, like 150, maybe a dollar, but 49 cents.
Wow. Okay.
So this game called Outside the Realm, it's just a normal looking side scroller, kind of a side scrolling. You just control an astronaut in space and you just dodge enemies and collect crystals. It it's as basic as it sounds, but I just found it very interesting with that price tag.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, for the price of a, I don't know, I guess it depends on where you buy your Cokes, but for the price of a can of Coke, that's not bad. I would
Yeah,
buy it just for the price.
there you go. So the company who made this game, you already has a customer.
Good job. You
So
got me.
yeah, these two games are out on Wii U. So and that's it for news. So we're going to take a break and we're going to the topic, which is games that were never released in here by I mean the states. you'll see when we come back.
So that should be a pretty interesting one. We'll be back.
Yes, be right back. Okay, so we're back, and today's topic it's going to be, you know what? I'm not even going to repeat it. Just games that were not released on the states, and we're just going to talk about a few of them. I mean, how about you, Eric? Why don't you start? Do you have any games?
Yes, and I'm gonna go ahead and go in order of one that's gonna blow your mind. So first, I'm gonna start with something you've probably already heard of, which
Uh
is
huh.
the freshly picked Tinkle's Rosy Rupee Land.
Oh yes, I heard of that game.
You have that game.
No, I heard of it.
Oh, you
No,
heard
I
of it.
never
Oh, I
bought
thought
it.
you had it. I was like, you jerk! You never told me about it. But yeah, that's one of the games that I've heard. You know, it's one of those, and not because I want to really, I'm not super interested in playing it, but it's a Zelda spin-off game. So with that being said, it is one of those types of games that I do want to go ahead and eventually try. I'm willing to even import this game or one of these days, and just so I can go ahead and try it. But that is one of the games that I want to go ahead and try. What have you heard about it?
So the thing about this game, so it was actually introduced by Nintendo Power back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
They introduced it so they were trying to garner interest. The game had already released in Japan and it was set to release in Europe, which it did, by the way.
It did, right?
They got both versions, and going like I said, like Nintendo Power was trying to garner interest. It didn't get the interest, so it was never released here.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So as you said, it was only released in Japan, and it did release in Europe. I think it was back in 2007, after its a year after its Japanese release. But I mean, what this game is one of those games, like I said, that was lost in the Zelda timeline altogether. I'm sure it doesn't fit anywhere in the timeline. But with that being said, it's a story about Tinkle, excuse me, from basically his home. He has his own home, and there is Uncle Rupee, an old man with a rupee-shaped head, that appears and offers Tingle a life in paradise called Rupee Land if he continues to feed rupees to the Western Pool, which is a pool that's in this area. So basically, he's just collecting rupees and throwing them in the pool just to try to go ahead and go to his quote-unquote paradise. But however, near the end of the game, I've heard that the player learns that Uncle Rupee has been deceiving him this whole entire time, and it just initiates a battle between him. So it's one of those games. Sorry for spoilers, everybody, but it's one of those games that it's like. Well, I'm not going to spoil that game, so I'm not even going to go into details with that one. But yeah, it sounds like an interesting game and something that I want to eventually pick up and try.
Yeah, I mean, it never really interested me. I mean, I still remember reading about it,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, it didn't really appeal to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I never even bothered to check it out. To this day, I don't think I checked it out further from what I read at Nintendo Power.
That's as far as you went with it. Again, the only reason I looked into it is just because it's Zelda related, and I love Zelda games, and it is one of those games that I wish I could go ahead and I will eventually one of these days go ahead and bring in.
Who knows? Maybe this one. I hope it's a cheap game.
It should be. Last time I checked, it was like $17 or something like that. So it's not that expensive, given that it obviously isn't a huge game,
Well, it's weird with this prices for older games, so you might want to get it soon.
Yeah, that's true. Before it gets even pricier.
Yeah.
But all
So,
right, your turn. What you got there?
okay. So I'm going to start with a really weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm going to start with a silly thing
Mm-hmm.
because, well, again, it's basically a set of games that we never really got in here.
Mm-hmm.
And we got in. Okay, I'm going to spoiler. It's a reading game.
Okay.
So we got like a few reading games by this point from Japan,
Mm-hmm.
like Reading Heaven and Elite Beat Agents.
Mm-hmm.
But what we never got was those Taiko games.
Right.
So, well, actually, we got it in the form of Donkey Konga, I think it's the name of the game.
Yes, I remember that. Uh-huh.
I never played that game personally,
Neither did I.
so I actually sit around at the game store often.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always sit there, and there's the bongos
Yeah.
just waiting. But I never really bothered to buy it. I don't know why. It's $20, but I don't know why I don't buy it. I should.
It just doesn't look enticing.
Yeah, he doesn't, because I think he has like strange music. Okay, so Taiko is the Japanese version of this, the original one. It used to be a bunch of, well, how do you say it? Taikos are these giant Japanese, well, kind of giant Japanese drums.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the game focuses on just playing them, through sound and music.
Right.
Of course, nowadays Taiko is mostly focused on anime and anime music, which really sounds a bit confusing when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But he just has this little mascot, which like it's a Taiko drum with a face. He just it's a basic reading game.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not much, but it's just one of those games I really want to play. But I tried getting the DS games, but they're a little expensive,
Mm-hmm.
so I was never able to.
I see. So that's a pretty good, interesting pick. So is that something that you would eventually get
Maybe if I had the cash.
if you had the cash and the interest in it?
I mean, I'm interested, but again, it all depends on money.
Right. Right.
So, do you have another pick?
I do. So the next one, let me go ahead and go into a little bit of details about a service that Japan had back in the day for their Super Nintendo system. It was basically called Satellaview. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes, I heard of that. I mean, I don't remember much about it at this point, but yes, I heard about it.
So basically, Satellaview would allow you to go ahead and download certain games at certain times of the night. So if you watch a TV show during the evening, you would be able to log into Satellaview, and you would be able to actually go ahead and view news, download games, and play exclusive games only available through Satellaview. So it never actually had a physical format. It was always digital. So with that being said, one of the games through Satellaview was called Excitebike Bun Bun Mario Battle Stadium. The Bun Bun basically is the Japanese onomatopoeia for the buzzing sound, like vroom vroom. So Excitebike Vroom Vroom Mario Battle Stadium. With that, they actually had, it was just like it says, it's Excitebike, but it was Excitebike on Super Nintendo, and
Mm-hmm.
and they had the characters Toad, Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, Wario, Yoshi, Koopa, and the Red Koopa. So you can play as all these characters, and you basically were just racing exactly like you would race on Excitebike. Now, the only reason I would love to one of these days try this game, and I'm sure obviously there's no physical format on this, so the only way that you would be able to play it is if you can find an emulator and a ROM. But I would like to go ahead and play an Excitebike game with Mario characters in it. I think that would be fun.
That reminded me.
Mm-hmm.
There was actually another game released for that, which was a remake of the original Legend of Zelda with, if I remember correctly, Link to the Past assets.
Damn it, John, that was my third one.
Oh man, I didn't know.
You
So
nailed
wait.
it.
Oh man, so okay, so how about we just move on to that
so,
one?
so I'll move on to my third one. You can just go ahead and knock off the other ones. And so, yes, that was my third one. And you're absolutely correct. It was actually a sequel to The Legend of Zelda. What was it? A Link to the Past. Excuse me.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was A Link to the Past, and yes, it was called The Legend of Zelda: Ancient Stone Tablets.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, just like you said, this was one of those games again that was released in small episodes. That way, you could go ahead and keep the audience intrigued, so to speak, right? Uh, but this game literally picks up right after the events of A Link to the Past. Uh, Sorry, one moment here. I'm just remembering what else is in there. So with that, it runs through the satellite, and it was only released again in Japan. There is a ROM that I've heard and online that you can go ahead and use to play. But
Hmm.
in this one, you get to use your own avatar that you created with the Satellaview, and you get to go ahead and continue on the story. Now, I don't exactly remember what the storyline is, but obviously it has something to do with tablets. So you start collecting these tablets, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it released in a few episodes every week. There was a total of 4 episodes on it, so it
Okay.
is a small game, but nevertheless, it's pretty fun. You get to go back into some of the old dungeons to pick up some items and stuff like that.
So yeah, this raises an interesting question.
Mhm.
So is this game canon to Zelda? Because I don't remember reading anything about it on the Hyrule Historia.
You're right. It doesn't really dig into it. I guess you could say, but I think it just goes off. It's one of those, kind of like the Tinkle one, because you really don't see that in Hyrule Historia at all, if I'm not mistaken. But no, I don't think it has anything to do with it. I think this was just something separate.
That's bizarre.
It really is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen any of the Let's Plays on it, but there is some Let's Play videos out there, and
I
this
have to look.
is,
Oh,
yeah, it's
sorry.
it's weird. No, 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 you're fine. But yeah, the events of Ancient Stone Tablet occur, I think, 6 years after the destruction of Ganon. So
Huh.
yeah, it actually gives you an exact amount of time that it actually took place. But what happens is that Zelda suffers from dark, reoccurring dreams that are, telling her that evil is about to come one of these days again. So uh, it actually has a plot to it, and it's very very cool. And there is an English translation out there for that game as well. So it's one of those games that I eventually want to go out and try out.
Okay, I'll probably look it up. I'm curious about it.
Yeah, that's the only reason I looked it up. Once I heard about it, I was like, someone must have made this game up. And then I dug in deeper to it. I was like, whoa, this is an actual thing that was done by Nintendo.
Hmm. Okay, I'll probably look it up. That's a strange game. I didn't really know about it.
Hmm.
Okay, so gonna take over the rest of the list since I kind of messed that up. So
No, I figured you would have brought it up. As soon as I said Satellaview.
whoops. So the second game I'm going to bring up it's one by the name of Captain Rainbow.
Okay.
Have you heard about it?
No, I have not.
So it's the storyline following this guy called Nick. Okay, so I'm going to start. This is actually a Nintendo developed game.
Hmm.
So the storyline follows like this guy called Nick. He's able to transform into the notorious Captain Rainbow.
Hmm.
Oh, by the way, his weapon is a JoJo.
Oh, okay, cool.
He starts in his own TV show, but then his show loses popularity. And so to restore that popularity, he ventures into this island called Mimin,
Hmm.
where it's said the wishes come true.
Hmm.
And then he meets a lot of characters, a lot of minor Nintendo characters actually.
Really?
Like they have their own dreams and wishes. And so the gameplay is focused on him helping the characters doing different mini games, and then carrying a giant star to the top to grant the wishes. To the top of the mountain to grant those wishes.
That sounds pretty cool, actually. Can I ask a question? What kind of Nintendo system is this on?
This is on the Wii.
Oh, it's on the Wii. Okay.
Yep. Yes, I should have brought that up first.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I haven't heard of this game. So obviously, this was only I can assume a Japan release, or
Yes.
yeah, okay.
So again, this is a very strange looking game.
Hmm.
You look up images of it, you'll see what I mean.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's kind of funny because I did say it has Nintendo characters, but minor.
Hmm.
Like for example, it has Birdo for one.
Oh wow, okay.
Like one of the quests is like trying to find out if Birdo is male or female. By the way,
Oh, okay.
so I'm pretty sure there's a lot of weird stuff like that. I try to keep myself away from knowing a lot about this game,
Uh-huh.
just in case. But yeah, I mean, I shouldn't hope too much knowing Nintendo with this kind of weird game.
Yeah, you're
I you
right.
never know. So it's just these kind of strange games that Nintendo has made but never brought over to the States. This is basically what I think Reading Heaven is as well.
Yeah, that's true, and I mean it's up there with also some other games like Sin and Punishment. That's another game that never really made it out to the States, but eventually I think it got, if I'm not mistaken, a virtual console release.
Yes, it released
But
on the Wii.
yeah, so you never know. Stuff games like this might eventually end up coming back to the States as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about this game. I figured the story just goes on. I heard it has a really good writing, at least in Japanese.
All right.
So I mean, I really would want to know what Nintendo could do with this.
Have you heard if there's
Like
an
in a
English
way,
fan translation out there?
no. Again, like I didn't look up too much about it again because I didn't want to find out much about the plot.
Uh huh.
So I didn't really bother much.
Gotcha.
And on to my final game, which is another strange game.
Mm-hmm.
This one was released for the Wii in Japan and Europe actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Disaster Day of Crisis.
Okay. Never heard of this one either.
By the way, yeah, this game was made developed by Monolith Soft.
Oh, okay. So this should be good. So what's it about?
So, stars a man called Raymond Bryce, an ex-US Marine who, in a run in with his partner Steve, he falls into a magma lake and he dies.
Okay.
He then joins a team like a year later after finding out that Steve's sister died, like not died, she was kidnapped, and he vows to bring her back alive.
Okay.
So it's not as crazy as it sounds. It's actually sounds a very kind of like an 80s style movie,
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yes.
but the gameplay itself is different. Like it plays in third person,
Mm.
but you basically just have to traverse the environment, like trying to watch out for,
Hmm.
like watch out your health in terms of like your lungs get damaged, your stamina, your heart. Like there's places that have like poison clouds or whatever, it messes with your lungs,
Right.
and like it has real shooter sections. I figured that these shooter sections are like you shoot your gun, but you don't get to move a lot, so just specific areas and like. Mm,
I think I'm gonna look up this game because this sounds interesting. I'm reading up upon it as you're talking to me about it. What I think is funny is that this only had a Japan and in a Europe release, but the plot is about a U.S. Marine. It's about the
yeah,
U.S. government as well, but
yeah,
and the FBI, which is the FBI is a
yeah. I
U.S.
mean,
thing.
I truncated the plot a lot. I truncated the plot, so
Mhm.
I just went like to the most basic of it.
Right. I just think it's funny how it's all U.S. related, but it didn't release in the U.S. That's insane.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually really funny.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it's just a strange game that has weird things like has those Wii mini games.
Right.
So it has like you mimic CPR and like driving and stuff with the Wii remote.
Hmm.
I mean,
The game's North American release was canceled due to poor sales outside of the country. That's why it never
yeah.
released. Wow. And even though it got some pretty good scores from IGN, IGN gave it an 8.0 out of 10. So,
Oh,
yeah,
so
that's
what you're
crazy.
saying is that Europe screwed us over.
Pretty much. Good job,
Europe.
Europeans.
Oh man,
Just kidding, guys. We love you.
I don't. You just-
And this phone number is 766.
oh, shut up.
But all right, yeah, that's an interesting game. But yeah, man, I'm looking at it. The first week of sales in Japan sold 13,000 copies. After its first month, they had 21,000 copies in Japan. So, yeah, it didn't sell much at all.
Yeah. So this is just one of those games that we here in the states never really got.
Hmm.
Just games that I'm curious about. And by the way, I haven't really been very specific with the games because I mean, you people are curious, like with what I said. You should look it up. Maybe you'll be interested to enough to get them.
Well, duh. I mean, you did that to me just now. As soon as you started talking about it, it's like, okay, let's look this up because this sounds very interesting.
See, I made it looking up,
There
so
you go.
it's working. So go do that. Maybe buy the game. So I mean, this is just a few of the games. There's a lot of games that Japan has, and we never got. Like all those anime games for one.
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
And on the Wii alone, there's a lot of anime games.
Hmm.
Like,
It's just the anime culture is just not that big here, unfortunately. I mean, it's getting there. Trust me, there's a lot of conventions, and I mean, personally speaking, I watch anime as well, but not enough to where they you can release anime video games. I would say
yeah, it's not selling too well.
no.
So I guess we're not going to get the weird. Uh, I was about to mention a random game, but I already forgot. It's just this random games. Like there's a lot of. I was looking up the games, and there was a lot of games with like random like girls on the front, like looking all cute and whatnot.
A lot of fan service games as well, I'm assuming.
I don't know if they're fan service or not, but I mean, there's a lot of those games.
I can imagine.
So maybe something says, all right, we don't get all games.
Right.
So
But all right. Well, I guess that takes care of that topic. But since we have some time, what I wanted to see if I mean, have you been playing any? We'll talk about some games that we are playing. Have you been playing any games lately?
yes, actually, I suppose I could start with the fact that I'm still playing Xenoblade.
That game's a game that keeps on giving, man. So I'm glad you're still playing that. Obviously, you're playing the Wii U version at this point, right?
Well, Xenoblade Chronicles X, I'm saying.
Right.
Well, there's only one version, so yeah,
Well, one version for the Wii U, right?
yeah. So I'm playing that, and I recently made a vow to because I have a huge backlog, like a lot of people tend to have when they buy a lot of games,
Right.
and I'm bound basically to finish one game on a weekly basis.
Good luck finishing that in a week.
Oh man, well, I'm not. It's basically I'm playing it so I can just slowly pick at it.
Right.
No, because there's no way I'm finishing this in 1 week.
There is no way.
No,
That's
I got stuck today, man.
jeez.
So yeah. So recently, this past month, I finished Donkey Kong Country 2, Punch Out, the original Super Mario Bros., which I had never actually played.
Really?
Well, I played on the SNES re-release of Super Mario All Stars.
Uh huh.
So this was the first time I played the original.
Oh, okay. What you think? I'm curious of your thoughts on that.
Well, after playing the SNES version, I really didn't like coming back to that one.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I really dug for a game to play because I was about to run out of time. I
Mm.
found this reading game called Groove Heaven. It's just this random game where you control this little witch and she just walks around on rhythm. It's a really, really short game to the point that it was entertaining, but I'm going to forget that game in a week.
Oh, I'm sure you will. Especially if it was that short. Nobody remembers games that short, you know?
Yeah, and there was nothing to the game.
Hmm.
But those are the games I've been playing. What had you been playing, Eric?
So the only thing I've been playing, I think we talked about it in the last podcast too, because you have the game too. We just haven't had the chance for to play it together yet. But Final Fantasy Explorers,
All right.
yeah. So I have been playing that game lately, and not to the sense to where I've made a lot of progress, but I've been able to go ahead and get enough gameplay in it now. Mind you, I went into this game almost blind. The only thing I knew is that it was Final Fantasy, and you get to play with other people. That's all I really knew. So that's what enticed me about the game. But now that I've actually gotten to play it a little bit more, it really literally is Final Fantasy meets Monster Hunter. That's exactly what the
Hmm.
game is. So you're basically you're picking up quests, you're picking up side quests, and you're actually going out into the fields and you're killing monsters and you're collecting the items that come along out of that monsters, delivering them back. So it's basically back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Eventually, you start fighting stronger monsters, obviously, and since right now I'm in my PlayStation where I'm playing by myself, you get to actually recruit monsters, and they go out into the field and help you fight as well. If they die, that's okay. They come back after a certain amount of time. They respawn, but
Hmm.
it's actually a very interesting game. And people might hate me for this, but I think I actually Monster Hunter I could not get into. I don't know why. I just could not get into that game. But this game actually gives me what I like, which is that Monster Hunter vibe, but at the same time throws in those that Final Fantasy vibe as well. So I like it. I've been enjoying it so far. Again, haven't played enough to where I can. I mean, I haven't even chosen my own class. I'm still in the freelancer stage right now.
Hmm. So I can actually kind of figure it out because I personally not a fan of Monster Hunter either.
Right.
So here's the thing. I think from what I see, from what I believe, it's
Mm-hmm.
that the game has a lot of familiar elements
Mm-hmm.
that you can get into it, but it introduces new things, which is well, what we need.
Yeah, exactly, and you're absolutely right. That's why there's just something about Monster Hunter I never liked, and what this does is it grabs those Monster Hunter physics and not physics. It grabs that play experience, but it also incorporates Final Fantasy into it. So you still have the ability to go ahead and use some of the Final Fantasy moves such as Cura, Blizzard, Fire,
Hmm.
Thunder, stuff like that. So, and obviously, with that being said, you get to upgrade those items too. You get to go ahead and make them stronger. So, I mean, that's what sets it apart from Monster Hunter, and I think it's actually a fresh new taste to it, and I like it so far.
Well, actually, I think you got it. This game controls very. It flows well. Like the controls are not like very stiff. Monster Hunter, it's very. Well, I think Monster Hunter is very stiff in the
It,
way it controls.
very stiff. You're right.
So
Yes.
it's a purposefully done design choice. That's how
Right.
the game plays. That's how the game's made. That's how people love to play it.
Mm-hmm.
I could never get into it, but I can see why people like it. But this is the game controls so much better.
Right.
Like when you hit a button, the attack actually hits the moment you do, and it doesn't take uh, like a billion years to hit.
Right, because when you hit it in Monster Hunter, I mean, he or she starts swinging and then swinging and it's still swinging and then it finally hits. But by the
Yeah.
time you get that move done, the actual monster you're fighting has already hit you a few times, you know,
Hmm.
and that's what was very infuriating about the game. And I think you're right. It's just I'm more of a gamer where if I hit a button, I want the reaction quickly. I don't want to wait.
Hmm.
And this game does that. You know, if I use a fire attack, it does a fire attack and it does it instantly. If I slash at something, it slashes at something right away. So yeah, I think that's what's awesome about it. And then even playing by myself so far, if I have to fight a very strong boss, I like that I can still actually survive. You know, because I have my potions and I have other items that I can use to make sure that I stay alive. And then
Hmm.
at the same time, I have Cura effect, which will always keep me alive. But the game is not that stupid about it either. So obviously, you know, I can survive crazy boss battles like that. But then you get to this point in the quest to where you can actually go fight that boss again. But this time you have to pick three conditions, and you get to pick three conditions. Excuse me, four conditions out of six conditions. One of them is that you get to go ahead and fight that same boss, but you have to go ahead and cut your damage in half, or and you can choose from no potion, no items. You can choose from having the boss's life doubled and having the boss stronger as well. So I mean, there's conditions like that you can go ahead and throw in there to go ahead and make the experience a little bit more difficult and a little bit more
Hmm.
challenging.
Okay, okay, I see. I guess I'm going to end this by basically saying, stop playing the game ahead of me, darn it.
Well, start playing the game, darn it. I mean, that's the cool thing about it too, because I can jump straight into your storyline right now as well if you set up the room. So I mean, eventually, if you whenever you're ready, I mean, I'll jump in and we'll get you caught up quickly.
Okay, well, that'll be cool. And I suppose we can end this podcast with that.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, we
Yeah.
this is going to be an interesting year, man. That's all I got to say. We got a lot of stuff coming up, especially with the NX and you know with new games. It's going to be a very interesting year.
Yep. And I guess if I can end this, like actually end this podcast, is to say there's a lot of games you don't know about out there.
Hmm.
I mean, you really had to dig just to find those weird games that you probably never heard of.
Absolutely.
You know, who knows? Maybe you'll like one, and you'll probably spend hundreds of dollars and buy it. So with that, this we end the podcast, and we will see you guys next time.
See you next time, guys.